ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदास्मेरवक्त्रं कृपापूर्णनेत्रं स्थिरं दीनमित्रं जनप्रीतिपात्रं सुविज्ञातशास्त्रं कषायाक्तवस्त्रं दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्यं भजे। So recently I came across a small book on Shivatandava Stotram. It was printed in 1930. So I was just going through the shlokas, and in the third verse, if you have third verse, you just have a look at the third verse. Spuraddiganta santati pramodamana manase. It is there in the second line. Okay? The meaning I gave you is Diganta, all the directions are Spurat, reverberating continuously. That is, when Shiva dances, when he is performing the Tandava along with Parvati, Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasa Bandhu Bandhura Spuraddiganta Santati Pramodamana Manase. When Shiva dances along with Parvati, his mind is in ecstasy, and as he dances, the entire horizon it's shaking continuously. This is the meaning I gave. But in that old book, it is not Diganta. Okay, Spurat Diganta is not there. It is Driganta. Drig means looking. Okay, so with this one change in that letter, the meaning has changed completely. So in the verse you will see Manaha Vinodametu me. May my mind find pleasure or take pleasure in what? Vastuni. In Shiva, who is the truth of everything, who is the Satya Vastu. Digambare, in Shiva, who is wearing the direction as is, and Apadi. Apadi what? Kripa Kataksha Gorani, Niruddha Durdharapadi. In Shiva, may my mind revel in Shiva, whose merciful glances are capable of removing our dukkham, our difficulties, our hardships, our sorrow. Sorrows which are otherwise very difficult. Okay, that even with Shiva, with his grace, we are able to get over that. Then Manase. Okay, Spuradiganta Santati Pramodamana Manase. In Shiva. Now the meaning changes. Okay. May my mind revel in Shiva, whose mind revels in, okay, my mind should revel in Shiva, and Shiva's mind revels in the, you listen, no? I will send you. Whose mind revels in the continuous uh, side glances of Driganta means cornered-eyed glance, okay, of the beautiful Bandhuraha, the beautiful Parvati, who is the daughter of Parvata, Dharadharendra Nandini, and who is the consort and who is engaged in the sportive play. Okay, Vilasa. Shiva's mind revels in the sportive play, Vilasa of Parvati. What is the Vilasa? What is the play that she is engaged? Her continuous side glances, Shringara, the loving glances. And Spurat Driganta, Spurat means the bright, shining, cornered-eyed glances. And it is continuous, Santati. So she is playing by giving continuous side glances, and Shiva's mind rejoices at her side glance. So may my mind revel in Lord Shiva, whose mind rejoices at the continuous side glances, cornered-eyed glances of beautiful daughter of Himavan. Okay. So Sundari, the only correction is Driganta. That's all. Instead of Dikanta, you will say Driganta. Drig. Drig means corner eye, looking, the vision. Driganta. Instead of Ga, you will put Dig. You will say Drig. Okay. D-R-A. Drig. Noted it? Drig. I have typed the word Driganta. So I sent it privately to. Okay. Driganta. Okay. And I will continue with the other verses. 6th shloka. Lalata Chatvara Jwalad Dhananjaya Spulinga Bha Nipita Panchasayakam Namannilimpanayakam Sudhamayukhalekhaya Virajamana Shekharam Mahakapali Sampade Shiro Jatala Mastunaha. Okay. 6th shloka. Mahakapali Sampade. Last line. Mahakapali Sampade Naha Astu. Okay. We'll take that sentence like that. So Mahakapali is Mahakapali Sampade. Naha. Don't worry about all that. So may Lord Shiva, may he be the one who blesses us with prosperity. This is the sentence. May Lord Shiva be the one who blesses us with prosperity, with abundance. So in the previous shloka, he prays for Shriyam Chiraya Jayatam. Shriyai Chiraya Jayatam. May Shiva be the one who produces or blesses us with abundance. Sometimes you pray and for a few months everything is fine, and then after that 7.5 Edarnati Shani starts, or some problem comes, Ashtama Shani comes, and then you lose whatever you have. Not like that. Shiraya Jayatam. Let that abundance be there for a long time. Shashvata Phalam. So may he shower prosperity forever. Shriyai Chiraya Jayatam. That Shiva, okay, this is in the previous shloka. Shriyai Chiraya Jayatam. Here he says, Sampade Namastu. For the sake of wealth, may he bless us. So that Shiva who is Mahaha. Mahaha means Jyoti Swarupa. Okay. Mahaha means one who is Jyoti Swarupa. One who is effulgent. And Maha, and who is Kapali. Kapali means the one who has Kapala, skull. So we can either take it as one who has Kapala in his hand, or one who has Kapala Mala around his neck. So whichever way we take, no dosha. We can take it whichever way you like. So this Shiva, who has Kapala in his hand and around his neck, and who is effulgent, who is bright, one who is Jyoti Swarupa, and also Shiro Jatalam. Shiras means head, okay? On his Shiras, the Shiras which is crowned, which is crested, okay? Crowned by what? Generally, when we think of Shiva, we'll only think of moon. Okay. So Shiva has moon on his crown, Chandrasekharaha. Even though we can take that meaning, we will not take that meaning here. Why? Because yeah, there is another word there where in the previous line it is already mentioned like he has the moon on his crown, okay, on his head. So it can't be a repetition. In the same shloka, there won't be a repetition of Shiva having moon on his head. So hence we will take it as Ganga. Okay, the one who has uh, on his Shira who has Ganga. Why I am saying this? In that book, which I told you I have seen in the 1930 edition, instead of Shirojatalam, it is Sarijatalam. Sarijatala. Sari. Sarijatalam. So Sarij means uh, stream. Okay. So stream means generally, of course, it is from Ganga only. We saw in the first shloka Galajjala. Galajjala means oozing water. Water is oozing. So Sarijatalam. That is, I think this is the original version. Maybe it got corrected later. I don't know. So this Shiva who has Ganga on his head, may he bless us with wealth. Then Sudha Mayukha Lekhaya Virajamana Shekaram. Shekara, one whose head, the crown of his head, is Virajamana Shekaram, is a shining head. Okay. How is it shining and why it is shining? Lekhaya. Lekha means line, a stroke. It's shining because of the stroke of what? Mayukha. Mayukha means the luster, the light, the rays. The rays of what? The rays of Sudha. Sudha means, it has many meanings. Sudha has the meaning of milk, nectar, water, lightning, earth. All meanings are there for the word Sudha, and many more are there. So here, what would be appropriate? Here, milk and nectar would be appropriate, and the most appropriate would be combining both as the guna of moon. The moon is white like milk, and also the rays are like nectar. It's very soothing and sweet rays. So Shiva is one whose head shines with the nectar like rays of the white stroke shaped moon. So in Tamil generally we'll say Keetru, you know, uh, that is uh, பிறை சந்திரனை வந்து நிலவின் கீற்று, they will say in Tamil. It's very thin line of moon. In some pictures you would have seen, you know, just one stroke will be there. So that is exactly what he is saying here. So this is the reason why we took that as Sarijatalam. Okay, because already the moon is mentioned here. Then Naman Nilimpanayakam, the one who made the Deva bow before him. Naman means to bow down. Nilimpa means god or goddess. We already saw there. Nilimpa Nirjari. Vilolevi Chivallari. So Nilimpa Nirjari means goddess river. So same meaning here also. Nilimpa means god or goddess. So Nayaka means Lord. The Lord of the Devas bow in front of Shiva. That Shiva, may that Shiva, for the sake of prosperity, be the one who blesses us. That is the meaning. So now coming to the first line. The long one. Okay. lalata chatvara jwalad dhananjaya spulingabha nipita panchasayakam. Again here there is one correction. Spulinga bha is there. Okay. This, when it ends with bha, it doesn't make any sense at all. I really wasted a lot of time trying to understand and connect this ba. Then finally, when I looked at this old edition, it is not bha, it is ya. Spulinga ya. Okay. So even though you make the correction in the book, I don't know how Shankar Mahadevan has sung the song or others who have sung Shivatandava Stotram. I don't know whether they have sung as Pulingaya or Spulinga Bha. If it is Bha, you just in your mind you make a note of it at Pulingaya. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God, you are going to have a meeting, Jay. Okay, sorry. So Lalata means forehead. Chatvara means rectangle, okay, or crossway. It has many meanings. So the closest I could see here is rectangle or crossway. Jwalad means shining and blazing. Dhananjaya means fire. Spulinga means sparks of fire. Okay. Now what is this saying? On his rectangular forehead, he has fire which is shining and blazing. And the fire is not there on the whole of his forehead, it is in the crossway. So I was wondering why it is called a crossway. Okay, why the forehead is called a crossway? Of course, the forehead has many meanings, but one of the meanings also is the Chatvara, the meaning has meaning of crossway, which means a place where many roads meet, isn't it? So I checked with a doctor. So I thought there should be some in the anatomy, something must be there. Otherwise, they won't call the forehead as Chatvara. And she told me that the forehead is a place where many facial bones meet. Okay, so they all meet, they cross. So it's a crossway. So hence Chatvara could specifically mean the middle of the forehead, where Shiva's third eye is there. So that makes sense, no? Because that is where the fire is. In this place on his forehead, there is fire. And Chatvara has another meaning. See, one of the reasons why Shivatandava Stotram is very, very difficult to really actually translate is it's really awesome. Okay. If you look at each and every word has so many meanings. You can interpret it in many ways. And so it's actually impossible to give an exact meaning for the compound word. A compound word means where you put too many words together to create another meaning. So even though I give you each meaning of each and every word in that compound, but when you put it together, it gives a totally different meaning, and many other people may interpret it in many other ways. So I'm trying to give you the closest, okay? So Shiva's, this Chatvara also means a place which has been leveled, samapadtapatta idam, a ground which has been leveled. Why it is leveled? Not for walking or for any other purpose, not for walking or jogging or for driving and all that. It is leveled in order to perform a yaga. Okay, that is the specialty. So Shiva's flat forehead is compared to the ground where yaga is done. Okay. And when you think of a yaga, you cannot think of a yaga without Agni, right? Without Agni, you simply having a Homa Kunda and a Yagashala is not enough. As long as Agni is not there, it's just a place. Only when Agni is invoked, it actually becomes a yaga. So Dhananjaya is there. Dhananjaya is the name of Agni we saw in the second shloka. Dagad 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 Jwalalla Patta Pavake. Okay. So and from this fire, okay, sparks are coming. Spulinga. See this Shiva's third eye is like a Yagashala where Agni is burning. It's a sacred place. What we mean is the third eye is a sacred place. And from this fire comes the sparks, Spulinga. So don't think of Spulinga like our miserable Kambi Matapu which you use during Deepavali, that sparkler. Not spark, not like that. So each spark coming from Shiva's forehead is that Agni is capable of burning the whole universe. Okay, that spark. So with that spark, he absorbed the Panchasayaka. Okay, you will see Panchasayaka in this line. Pancha means five, you all know. Sayaka means arrows. So with this Agni, he absorbed Panchasayaka, the five arrows. This, you must have heard of Diti and Aditi in the Purana. Diti is the mother of Daityas, Asuras. And Diti, the word Diti means splitting or dividing or cutting. Okay. Diti also means splendor. And Aditi is the mother of Adityas, that is Devas. The meaning of Aditi is abundance, boundless, happy, free, inexhaustible abundance. Okay, that is the meaning of Aditi. So all sons of Aditi are Adityas, but Surya is especially known as Aditya because Surya is really special. So he's known by his mother's name. Like Kaunteya refers to all the five sons of Kunti, but Arjuna is special. So Kaunteya means it always refers to Arjuna, though all other four brothers are also Kaunteya. Similarly, when we say Aditya, uh, sons of Diti, all are Adityas only. But Surya Bhagavan especially known as Aditya by his mother's name because he is special. So this Diti is the mother of Asuras and Aditi is the mother of Devas. They were always engaged in the battle, always fighting against each other. And in the process, many Asuras were killed by the Devas. So Diti was extremely enraged and then she wanted to destroy the children of Aditi, the Adityas, that is the Devas. So Diti and Aditi had many, many children over a period of many years. Okay, they lived for long, long years. So when I say Devas are Aditi's children, there are many children, okay, through Aditi, and there are many children to Diti also. So don't think Indra, Vayu, Agni, and others are children of Aditi. No, they are not included. When I say Devas, they are not included. Then who are Diti's sons and Aditi's sons? Frankly, I do not have a list of their names. But whenever a Purana mentions so and so Asura is the son of Diti, then we will know. Otherwise, even I don't know. So this Diti was very angry and she wanted to destroy the Devas. Sorry, Devas in the sense the children of Aditi and all those who are associated with them, which includes all other Devas. Therefore, she performed severe tapas. Kindly excuse me because Jaishankar is having a meeting and we are sharing the same room because we have the signal problem. So he'll be going manama there in the background. Please excuse. So what was I saying? Okay. Uh, she wanted to destroy the children of Aditi. Okay. So she performed severe tapas for many years and was granted a son by name Vajranga. Okay. Vajranga, Anga means like our the Dichi, you know, same like the same name. One whose body is like Vajra, which cannot, which is impenetrable, very strong. And with this son, she was able to defeat the Devas. Then once Indra, you know, he wanted to have revenge. Indra came to the place where Vajranga and his wife were living, and he destroyed their place. And he even hurt his wife. So when Vajranga came back, he was shocked to see that the whole place was destroyed, and he was upset to see that his wife was also hurt. So he also got enraged and he did tapas to obtain a child who would destroy the devas. See, this is going on and on. They would never stop taking revenge on each other. If one powerful son comes, then that power is not enough. He has to pray for much more powerful asura. Okay. So Mrs. Vajranga prayed for a child who would destroy the devas. And he had three children, Taraka, Surapadma, and Simhamuk. So among these three, the Taraka performed a very severe tapas and he got a boon from Brahmadeva that only the son of Shiva can conquer him. Why? Because he knew very well that Shiva was in tapas, in meditation. Okay? Because he had just lost Sati Devi, who had given up her life in Daksha Yajna. And after she left, Shiva went into deep meditation. So this fellow knew that Shiva and Parvati, Sati Devi, Shiva will never have a child. So he said, only a son of Shiva can kill me. Okay, Brahma granted the boon, no problem. Meanwhile, Sati was born as the daughter of Himavan and Maina. And she was worshipping Shiva in order to marry him. So she used to go along with the two or three of her friends and worship Shiva every day in Kailasha, in Malaya. Meanwhile, Indra asked Kamadeva to break the meditation of Shiva so that he will look at Parvati with Kama. Okay, because Parvati is going and doing puja every day, and somehow he wanted to distract Shiva. Hey, come on, please look, open your eyes and look at Parvati, and please save us. he, our problem. So Kamadeva was terribly scared, you know. When Indra asked him to go, he said, no, 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 if I go there, Shiva will burn me. He knew that Shiva would definitely burn him for this act of his. But Indra insisted. He said, come on, you have to do this to save us. And Kamadeva could not refuse. He had to obey. So Kamadeva went to Himalayas at a time when Parvati was worshipping Shiva. And he entered the abode of Shiva without Nandikeshwara knowing about his entry. Because if Nandikeshwara knows that this fellow is coming in, definitely, even before Shiva could burn him, Nandikeshwara would kill him. So he entered in the form of a gentle breeze, you know, a breeze that carries fragrant perfume. And how did then Parvati was allowed? That doubt may be there. No, if nobody can go there, then how Parvati was allowed to enter Kailasha? That is because Shiva is in Parvati's father's place, na? My father's house. Generally, we say, "Na, my father, is this your father's road to do whatever you want?" Like that, it is my father's house. Yeah, you are actually in my father's place. So Shiva Parvati was allowed to go and do puja every day. So, Himavan's daughter. And Kamadeva hid himself from Shiva. He did not want to actually face Shiva because if Shiva opens his eyes, Satyanash ho jayega. So he didn't directly come face to face with Shiva. And this Kamadeva has a sugarcane bow, which has 5 arrows. Now we are coming to the actual matter. Okay, this is why I told you the story. He had Panchasayaka, 5 arrows, not sharp arrows, but flower arrows. Okay, and the flowers are white lotus, that is Aravinda. Okay, Shweta Aravinda, and the flowers of Ashoka tree. Ashoka tree means not that long Netlinga tree. Okay, not that. Ashoka tree is it's a special tree which where Sita was there. You know, the Ashoka Vana. It's a special tree, and the flowers of Ashoka tree. Okay, then he has Chuta. Chuta means the flowers of mango tree. Okay, that is called Chuta. Then he has jasmine flowers, Mallika, and Neelotpala. Neelotpala is blue lotus, blue lily. Okay, so these are the flowers. These are the arrows. Okay, flowery arrows that Manmata has. White lotus, Ashoka, mango, jasmine, and Neelotpala. And he creates a false spring season, an atmosphere, which is conducive for love, an untimely spring. Okay, then he shoots his arrow exactly when Parvati was sitting there in front of Shiva. And Shiva, for a moment, opens his eyes and looks at Parvati, and he feels attracted towards her. So immediately, Shiva realizes what had happened, and he gets so angry, and he looks here and there, wondering who could have caused this. He sees Kamadeva and Bhasmam ho gaya Kamadeva. He burnt Kamadeva to ashes. So the context is, with that fire which is on his forehead, he absorbed the Panchasayaka. Panchasayaka means Kamadeva, not the arrows, uh, not just the arrows. Kamadeva himself means he burnt Kamadeva. That is the context here. So Shiva's forehead is the place where yaga is. It's a sacrificial fire. Okay, it's not an ordinary fire. It's a sacred agni into which, uh, and that is why it is called Chatvara. And with that agni, he burnt Kamadeva. Okay, why it is called as a sacred place will become clear in the next shloka. So may this Shiva be the one who blesses us with sampad, wealth. 7th shloka. I will teach you the shloka after giving you the meaning of this 7th shloka. Karala bhala pattika dhagad jwala jwalad. Okay. Dhananjaya Ahuti Prachanda Panchasayake Dharadharendra Nandini Kuchagra Chitrapatraka Prakalpanaika Shilpini Trilochane Ratirmama. Ratihi Mama became Ratirmama. Ratihi Mama. My mind revels. Revels in whom? In Shiva, who has Trilochana. In the Shiva, Trilochane. In Shiva, who has Trilochana, who has 3 eyes. Then in Shiva, who is a Shilpi. Shilpini. Shilpi means a craftsman, an artist. Even a sculptor is called a Shilpi. Here, an artist, okay, a craftsman. Shilpini. In that Shiva who is the Shilpi, may my mind revel. And he is Eka Shilpi. Prakalpanaika Shilpi is there. Eka Shilpi, the only Shilpi. Okay, the only Shilpi, one and the only Shilpi. Who, with his prakalpana, with his artistic skills, draws, you know, he does drawing. Chitrapatraka, he draws. Chitra means bright, distinguished, varied colored. Okay. Patraka means paintings, pictures. See, he is the only one artist, one and the only artist who is capable of uh, drawing Chitra Patraka, excellent, varied colored paintings or drawings. So where does he draw? On Kuchagra, on the breast of Parvati. Kuchagra, Agra means top or tip. So Kucha means breast. So Kuchagra means on the tip of the breast, on her breast. Of whom? Of Dharadharendra Nandini, of Parvati, the daughter of Parvata Raja, Parvati. So he is the only one skilled artist who can draw varied pictures on the breast of Parvati. I do not know the context here, why this particular, uh, he is describing Shiva like this. There must be some story behind this. I think it's only Shringara, because the Shiva and Parvati have a lot of love stories, you know, in the Purana. And maybe because when Ravana lifted the Himalayas, Parvati and Shiva were having a private time for themselves. That could be the context here. Uh, I couldn't think of anything else, because my knowledge on interpretation is only this, this much. I have very limited knowledge. I do not know much of the Purana. But Shiva and Parvati have a lot of beautiful, uh, you know, this romance, that love, that closeness is there. And the Shringara is very well expressed here. So this Shiva, may my mind revel in this Shiva. And Dhananjaya Ahruti Krita Prachanda Panchasayaka. Dhananjaya is fire. Ahuti Krita means the one who offered. Okay. Shiva is one who offered Prachanda Panchasayaka. Prachanda also has many meanings. Okay. One of them is fierce, which we saw in Prachanda Tandava. Okay. Another meaning is one who is impetuous, one who is careless, one who does something without thinking, without giving a proper thought. So this Manmata, poor fellow, he knew what will happen, but he had to obey Indra. So he was a bit careless, you know. Maybe he could have hidden some, he hid himself somewhere else also. I don't know. Maybe he was careless that way. But anyway, without thinking, uh, see, sometimes you know the consequences, but still you go ahead, you know. That is also without thinking. So this Manmata, without thinking, he made a blunder. So this Prachanda Panchasayaka, this stupid, thoughtless Manmata was offered. Ahuti means offering, okay, into the dreadful fire. Or Prachanda could go along with Dhananjaya, dreadful fire, okay, because that fire also is there, and the Prachanda also means dreadful and fearful. Into that fire, Manmata was given as an offering by Shiva. Okay, this fire is burning with the sound dagad 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 dagad, it is blazing. Jwalad Dhananjaya, where on his bhala. So we saw in when we saw this Ganesha Namas, you know, Shankatanashana Ganesha Stotra, Phalachandra or Bhalachandra. So I told you it should be either Bhala or Phala, not Bala. So Bhala means forehead. So Bhalachandra means one who has Chandra on his forehead. That is how we saw the meaning of Bhalachandra for Ganesha. So Bhala here means forehead. Bhala Pattika means on his flat forehead, this fire is there. And this fire is Karala. Karala Dhananjaya. Karala means it's terrible, it's dreadful. And with mouth wide open to swallow anything. So the fire is ready to consume anything that comes its way. That is called Karala. So that sort of fire. So may my mind revel in Shiva who has three eyes and who is the only artist who can draw varied pictures or lines on the breast of Parvati and who has um, terrible fire on his forehead which is blazing, into which Manmata was given as an offering. So now you see there is connection between this verse and the previous shloka. Slight connection. It's just flowing from the previous shloka into this shloka. Then 8th shloka. Okay, we'll just see the meaning. Don't worry, I'll teach you all the shlokas. Navina Megha Mandali Niruddha Durdharaspurat Kuhuni Shiti Tamaha. No, don't break that. Tamah Prabandha Baddha Kandharaha. Navina Megha Mandali Niruddha Durdhara Spurat Kuhu. Okay, Kuhu is separate. Nishithini Tamas. Don't say Tamas. Tamaf. Okay, Fa will come. Now, Tamaf Prabadha Baddha Kandharaha. It's one of the most difficult compounds so far I have come across in this shloka, in this Shivatandava Stotra. I spent a lot of time breaking my head. Okay. And no wonder nobody is able to give a meaning for Shivatandava Stotra. Then Nilimpa Nirjari Dharaha Dharasta Nilimpa Nirjari Dharastanotu Kritti Sindhuraha Kala Nidhana Bandhuraha Shriyam Jagadhuradharaha. Okay. Jagadhuradharaha. Dhurandaraha, sorry. Jagadhurandaraha. Dhurandaraha means Lord, leader, chief. So Jagat means universe. Jagat Dhurandaraha means one who is the Lord of the universe. This Dhurandara has another meaning as burden. Okay. So when you say Dhurandaraha, it also means one who bears the burden. So we cannot say Shiva is bearing the burden of the Jagat. He doesn't look at us as his burden, okay? He doesn't see the Jagat as his burden because he's not carrying it on his shoulders. So that meaning would not be appropriate because for Bhagavan nothing is a burden. He is in Ananta Shayana and Shiva is in Shivane, he is sitting, he is not touched by anything. So they are all relaxed. There is no burden for them. So the proper meaning would be the one who is the Lord of the Jagat. Jagat Durandharaha. Kalanidhana Bandhuraha. Okay. We'll come to Shriyam. Okay, what is the sentence? Sentence will be Tanotu. You see, Nilimpa Nirjari Dharas Tanotu. Nilimpa Nirjari Dharaha Tanotu. Tanotu. Shriyam Tanotu. May he give us wealth. That is the sentence. Protect us by giving wealth, giving abundance. So may he, who is he? He is the one who is the Lord of the universe. He is the one who is Kalanidhana Banduraha. What is Kalanidhana Banduraha? Kala means a portion. It refers to the crescent moon. Nidhana means a place, a resting place, or a place where something is kept. Okay. Kala Nidhana Bandhu. Bandura we already saw, Dharadharendra Nandini Vilasa Bandhu Banduraha. Bandura means who looks good, good looking. The moon is resting on his head. Nidhana, it is resting on his head, or Shiva kept him on his head because he got a curse from Daksha and he ran here and there, didn't know what to do. And Shiva said, okay, okay, you come to me, I'll give you a place, you can sit here. See, whichever way you see, either it is just a resting place of the moon or where Shiva has kept the moon which is crescent, Pirai Chandran. Both meanings are fine, means keeping and resting both. And because of this moon on his head, Shiva looks charming, handsome. Banduraha. Like we say Sundara, no? Sundara. Sundaraha. Banduraha. Same meaning. So may my mind revel in Shiva who is handsome due to the moon he wears on his head. And he is Kritti Sindhuraha. The one who wears an elephant skin. Wearer of elephant skin. Sindhura means elephant. Kritti means skin. Okay. The skin of an elephant. The story we know. Nilimpa Nirjaridharaha, the one who is holding or wearing Nilimpa Nirjari means goddess river, Ganga, on his head. Nilimpa Nirjaridharaha, the one who wears river Ganga on his head. That Shiva, may he bless us by giving Shriyam, wealth. Now comes the complicated compound word. What I am going to do is, I'll just give you the word meaning and give you a general meaning of the sentence. Okay. Navina. You see, actually it is describing Shiva's neck. Kandaraha means his neck. Okay. Shiva's neck. So how is this neck of Shiva? That is what he is describing here. The one who has a neck as dark as Tamaha. There is Tamaha there, right? In that. Kuhu Nishithini Tamaha. Tamaha means darkness. The one who has the neck as dark as darkness. Darkness of Nishithini, of midnight. And the midnight of what? Generally midnight means it could be full moon, or it could be Pratama, Dvitiya, Krishna Paksha Pratama, Krishna Paksha Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi. No. It is the dark night of a full moon, new moon. Kuhu Nishithini. Kuhu means full moon. Amavasya. Just imagine how dark it must be. Okay. Then you may say, okay, there will be stars. No. Okay. Stars will be there anyway. There will be some light if moon is not there. No. Meghamandala. He said during this dark midnight there are clouds. Meghamandala is filled with clouds. Maybe white clouds. No. Dark clouds. Okay. Navina means new, fresh. Clouds are forming. Okay. The clouds are new and fresh and forming, and the clouds are moving. Okay. Niruddha Durdhara. Nobody can stop this cloud. It just keeps moving. This dark clouds are, so many dark clouds are there that you can't even see the stars. So you can't see the stars is, I am supplying all this. Okay. It is not there in the sentence. He doesn't say there are so many clouds, so the stars are not able to be seen. No, no. He doesn't say all that. He just say it is dark and it is night and it is new moon, Amavasya, and you can't even, and there are dark clouds. So we have to assume that he's making sure that it is pitch dark black. Okay. and these clouds are moving, continuously forming. Then only the sky will be dark, the whole place will be dark. Then only the black is really black. So they are moving, spurat, and thus it is adding to the darkness of the sky. And this darkness is tied to his neck. Prabandha Baddha Kandaraha. This darkness is tied to Shiva's neck. So may this Shiva protect me, protect us. Okay, the one who has a dark black neck. Okay, this Kandaraha is black. Why Shiva's neck is black? Because he drank poison and it is stored in his neck. Okay, but we usually refer to it as blue. Okay, he says that it is blue. In the next shloka, he says it is blue. So we will see the next shloka in the next class. Om स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. We'll see the shloka.